works good. Next up, we got some puppy. I'm going to write down his actual name because I literally just call him Puppy all the damn time. Seungmin, As We Are. So that is the last track of the album. As We Are by Puppy.
눈이 내리고 바람이 세서 온몸이 떨리는
this camera feels like lore. Was there, I feel like there was something we watched that was Stray Kids that had a camera. Is that right? It's nostalgia. I feel like we watched one video that was like heavy on the lore, but I didn't. Yeah, that does sound SKZ Flicks. That sounds right. Yeah, that does ring a bell. But was the baseball also part of that? I don't know if it was, but something about the way he threw this ball to himself. It was like it's a time thing, like not like a portal, not like another dimension, but yeah, there's something to that. Because he catches the ball, but then here we have him with his guitar. As we are. It's about his past self. Played baseball since he was a child, got injured and stopped and went to music. Trading one dream for another. This shot feels important too. Not only do we get this shot, but we get the impact of this as like a pay attention. And you realize what that is, right? That's home. So, as we are. The song itself, super pretty. Super pretty. It's the perfect ending of an album because it has an inspiring feel to it. It has a very hopeful feel to it. Home. So once again, going back to our theory, we do see two sides of somebody. We see a past self, we see a current self, we see evolution. I'll make a bit of a stretch here. But if you think about one of my theories in Bang Chan's video of Railway, in the very end, my theory was he was quelling the darkness. Wrestling with himself, quelling the darkness. I feel like it might be a stretch to say, but with this one, going from playing baseball as a kid, wanting to be a baseball player, getting injured, but ultimately just changing paths, taking a different path, and becoming a musician, which obviously is his whole life now. There had to be a point where when that injury took place and that dream had to be kind of like, you have to process that. You have to take time to say, okay, that can't be me anymore. I can't do that. So now what do I do? Where do I go from here? and then changing directions and then really making it work. That to me feels like there's a moment of quelling the darkness. It's a pretty significant point in your life when you have to say goodbye to a dream. You feel like, well, this is all I've known. It's all I ever wanted to do. What do I do now? That's my whole identity is gone. Now, I'm putting words into his mouth, but I feel like that would be a very human thing, you know? Yeah, you can have more than one dream for sure. I feel like we all do. But there's also a piece of us that as people, our entire identity gets wrapped up into this, and I invest in this. I put all my strength and work and effort and mind and love into this. And then all of a sudden one day it just stops. You can't just say, oh, okay, well, I'll do this now. And then you go some other direction. I don't think that's really how it works. Like there's a moment there. You have to embrace that change, you know? The library card has the other members' names on it when he looks after catching the ball, like showing that that is a second part of his identity. Okay. Yeah. He has said it was tough for him to decide on the musician path. Okay. I could see that. Yeah, changing paths is not easy for anybody, really. As we are. I tried my best just running forward, but I stumbled and ended up falling behind. Why am I the only one like this? That's a significant line. Just before the tears came, you were crying beside me. Even if we wander through pitch black and distant darkness, let's run through time together until we reach that world, you and I. Even when snow falls and the wind is so strong that my whole body trembles, let's spread our roots, stretch our branches, and wait one more day. As long as we stay, get it? Never go away. I dream of the day when the world will be the most vibrant and green. Even if I can't see ahead and sometimes I'm compared to others, I'm always on your side. Let's run through time together until we get there. This is interesting. Even when snow falls and the wind is so strong that my whole body trembles. Having you by my side made it possible to hold on through those times. We could achieve it without feeling lonely through the long journey. This is us from that day, gazing at each other with the brightest smile in the world. Let's take it easy. Ooh, it's a good ending. Simple, powerful. Let's take it easy. These lyrics quite literally feel like he is talking to his past self. Right? I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm just putting those pieces together, but it does feel like that. Because let's think about this. Let's get quasi deep for a second. If there's you, and then there's past you. If past you never lets go of the dream that you had and is constantly every second poking and prodding and trying to get you to go do that you can't do anymore, it's going to be hard for you, now you, to make progress towards something else. So you kind of have to have past you deal with that grief and move on. You have to. Lines like this that say, let's run through time together until we reach that world, you and I. The death of a dream warrants grief too. Perfectly logical to think that you would take time to say, okay, I need some time to kind of get through this. And then not knowing what that new path is going to look like. Even if we wander through pitch black and distant darkness. That right there is the perfectly phrased unknown. You're choosing another path. You don't know if you're going to be wasting all your time. Think about it. If you invested all of this self and time and strength and energy into this one dream, and all of a sudden it stops one day and you feel like you've wasted everything up to that point, now you're about to do it all over again? Whew, that's rough. I think this third line of why am I the only one like this is significant because it's something that we all seem to feel, but yet the fact that we all feel it makes it illogical, completely irrational. I tried my best just running forward, but I stumbled and ended up falling behind. Every single person on the planet can understand what that means and what that feels like. But yet every one of us will still at least say internally or feel, why am I the only one that's like this? That feels significant to me. Even when snow falls and the wind is so strong that my whole body trembles. Spread our roots, stretch our branches, and wait one more day. Keep going. I dream of the day when the world will be the most vibrant and green. Winter, and then spring will come. Low points. Darkness. Long journey. Another cycle. Yeah. Let's take it easy. Wow. That is a very significant end to this album. This, of course, given the context that you gave me here, this, of course, also feels like it fits with the theory. Evolution, two sides of a coin, past self, now self. A lot of introspection. Yeah, I agree with that. Evolution. So let's take everything we have here and see, even if we have these oddballs, we have these outliers, whether it's visually or lyrically, what do we feel the trajectory is? We kick it off with Walking on Water. Stray Kids is in God mode. And we do have symbols through that video of the dark and the light. Two sides of a coin. Bounce back. Energy is still up. And we get that flash of the music stops, bring it back. We go into You featuring Tableau, energy still up. The music stops, and we go going back to You. Those pieces outside of the hip version of Walking on Water, those 4 songs kind of are the intro to the album. We break into the solo stuff. Whew. We kick it off with Railway. Back-chan has this sexy vampire theme, and we have this immortality vibe, which references back to the God mode. Quelling the darkness. Felix has the Beauty and the Beast theme with Unfair. There does feel to me to be some type of good versus evil, and maybe not in the Beauty and the Beast theme necessarily, but the good and the bad of how people view, I say him because I'm referencing the video, but us, how people view us versus how we see ourselves, or vice versa. IN comes in with a very sexy Hallucination, and we have the Sculptor, we have Evolution, we have going from the stone cold block to a beautiful sculpture, and the evolution and effort that it takes to go from one to the other. Now here's the first outlier, I think. Lee No comes in with Youth, a very fun, complete whiplash tune that is like a highlight of fun and joy in the middle of a very introspective journey so far. Might have some. And then we go to Hyunjin with So Good. This positive vibe, the energy is up, it's paying homage to some older stuff, but an outlier nonetheless. Life is so good. Benny is the big green man in Ultra. The giant, the ant that becomes a giant. He's the Incredible Hulk theme, and we have No Limit. Also lots of green like Ninja Turtles. More light, Benny. Han does Hold My Hand, which apparently is a later sequence to the trilogy of Alien, Human, and then Hold My Hand. It's a letter from Han to his past self, or he's telling himself that it's going to be okay, or he will be okay. And then Puppy closes up shop with As We Are, once again a letter to his past self. It has a little bit of lore from SKZ-PLAYER, maybe. It's really just a camera, but I do think there's some nostalgia there. I think there's something symbolically referencing all of that. It is kind of home, it's hopeful, but it discusses evolution. I'm going to take these two outliers and I'm going to force them into these spots. I'm going to take these round toys, I'm going to shove them into the square holes. Everything here represents, in some way, evolution, change, journeys. The two outliers are Youth and So Good. Specifically, Life is So Good. So if we take, I'm gonna go big here. I'm gonna take my little BT21 notepad, show you something here. Now we take this right here. We've got start, we've got end, okay? And we take all these songs and we put them on that timeline. And then we say, oh, all these songs are on the timeline, just like life. We've got where we started, we've got where we will eventually end. Through this journey of evolution that we all take, you can never forget where you came from. youth. That's what started it all. These are the formative years. Now, this can be good and it can be bad, but there is something to be said for a youthful spirit where you have that imagination and that drive. You still have your whole life ahead of you. But as these later years go, you have to remind yourself, even in these moments of darkness, that life is, in fact, so good. Life is good. It can be complete turd biscuit day for weeks and months at a time. It happens. Life is a gift. I've said this before and I'll say it again because I think it's appropriate in a moment like this. Whoever it was that said it, just know I will repeat it for 1,000 times. In the end, it's going to be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. I think that's pretty great. Now, my little theory crafting of this album includes a bit of stretching to make it all work. But that is the fun and challenge of doing this. I think this is an awesome album. I love the fact that most of the songs had music videos, of course, because that's what I do. And I love the visuals. I love the storytelling. I love all of them. And I have a feeling I'm going to really love Hans Hold My Hand when I see the rest of the context that's ideally included with Alien and Human. They came in hot with Walking on Water, and then Puppy ended it so eloquently with As We Are. Beautiful. Good call to action, a good little anthem at the end to remind you that there is always hope.